Good evening to all. Today we are going to discuss about the Unit 2 of Professional Ethics in Engineering. So unit title is Engineering Ethics. The syllabus of Unit 2 are Senses of Engineering Ethics, variety of moral issues, types of inquiry, moral dilemmas, moral autonomy, Goldberg's theory, Cleveland's theory, consensus and controversies, models of professional roles, theories about right action, self-interest, customs and religion, uses of ethical theories. These are all the syllabus of Unit 2 in Engineering Ethics. So content, now we are going to discuss about the content, which means uh, the syllabus of Unit 2 are classified into the contents. First content, Senses of Engineering Ethics. Second one is variety of moral issues. Third one is types of inquiry, moral dilemmas, moral autonomy, Goldberg's theory, Wegel's theory, professions and professionalisms, professional ideas and virtues, theories about right actions, self-interest, customs and religion, uses of ethical theories. These are all the contents of engineering ethics. So now discussing in engineering ethics, overview of engineering ethics is the activity and discipline aimed at understanding the moral values that ought to guide engineering profession and practice, resolving moral issues in engineering, and justifying the moral judgments in engineering. It deals with set of moral problems and issues connected with engineering. Ethical engineering ethics is defined as by the codes and standards of conduct endorsed by engineering professional societies with respect to the particular set of beliefs, attitudes, and habits displayed by the individual. Another important goal of engineering ethics is discovery of set of justified moral principles of obligations, rights, and ideas that ought to be endorsed by the engineers and apply them to concrete situations. Engineering is the largest profession, and the decision and actions of engineering affect all us. So now we are going to discuss what are the scope of engineering ethics. In engineering ethics is in two folds, or in the scope of engineering ethics in two folds. First one is ethics of the workplace, which involves the co-workers and employees in an organization. Second one is ethics related to the product or work, which involves the transportations, warehousing, and use, besides the safety of the end product and the environment outside the factory. This this is the two poles of engineering ethics. Now we move to the topic. What is the approach of engineering ethics? There are conventionally two approaches in the study of ethics. First one is microethics, which deals with the decision and problems of individuals, professionals, and companies. Now, you're dealing the problems with problems of individuals or professionals or companies is called as microethics. Next one is next approach of engineering ethics is macroethics. So macroethics is nothing but which deals with the societal problem on a regional or national level. For example, global issues, collective responsibility of groups such as professional societies and consumers. These are all the two approaches of engineering ethics. Now we move to the senses of engineering ethics. In senses of engineering ethics, there are two different senses. Senses in the sense meanings of engineering ethics, namely the normative and descriptive senses. The normative senses includes knowing moral values, finding accurate solutions to moral problems, and justifying moral judgments in engineering practices. And study of decision, policies, and values that are morally desirable in engineering practice and research, and using codes of ethics and standards and applying them in their construction by engineers. This is the normative inquiry uh, points. And second, we move to the descriptive senses or descriptive meanings, refers to what specific individuals or group of engineering believes and are without justifying their beliefs or actions. This is descriptive engineering ethics or engineering descriptive senses. So there are two different types of senses. One is normative senses, and another one is descriptive senses. Normative senses includes knowing moral values and study of decisions, policies, and values that are morally desirable in engineering practice and research, and finding accurate solution to moral problems and justifying moral judgments in engineering practices, using codes of ethics and standards and applying them in their transaction by engineers. The descriptive senses refers to what specific individual or group of engineering believes and act without justifying their beliefs or actions. These are all the two senses of engineering ethics. Now we will go to a variety of moral issues. It should be relevant to know why and how do moral issues or problems arise in the professions, or why do people behave unethically. The reasons for people, including the employer and employees, behaving unethically may be classified into three categories. One is research, crunch, and opportunity. Third one is attitude. So there are the three reasons why people are behaving like unethically. First one is research, crunch, and opportunity. Another one is attitude. So now we need to know what is resource crunch. So poor attitude of the employees setting due to low moral of the employees because of dissatisfaction and downsizing, and absence of grievance redressal mechanisms, lack of promotion or career development policies in defined promotions, a lack of transparencies, absence of recognition and reward systems, and poor working environment. These are all the resource crunch. And opportunity. What is opportunity? Double standards or behavior of employers towards the employees and public. The unethical behavior of WorldCom in USA, Enron in USA as well as India. Management projecting their own interest more than that of their employees. Some organizations overemphasize short-term gains and results at the expense of themselves and others. Emphasis on results and gains at the expense of the employees and management by objectives without focusing on empowerment and improvement of the infrastructure. This is the best encountered by developing policies that allow consensus keepers and whistleblower and appointing abetments who can work confidentially with people to solve the unethical problems internally. Third, we have moved to what is attitude, how attitude of one's uh, behavior changing unethically. Poor attitude of the employees setting due to low moral. Actually, I think uh, we discussed in these points in what is that resource crunch. Now in attitude chapter also we are discussing the same. Okay, poor attitude of the employees, it is due to low morally of the employees because of dissatisfaction and downsizing, absence of grievance redressal mechanisms, lack of promotions or career development policies, or denied promotions, the lack of transparency, absences of recognitions and reward systems, and poor working environment. These are all the attitudes. Now we will move to the topic, that is types of inquiries. There are three types of inquiries in solving ethical problems, or normative inquiry, conceptual inquiry, and factual or descriptive inquiry. So now these are all the 3 points. So what is meant by normative inquiry? It seeks to identify and justify the morally desirable norms or standards that should guide individuals and groups. It should also the theoretical goal of justifying particular moral judgments. Normative questions are about what ought to be and what is good based on the moral values. For example, how far does the obligations of engineers to protect public safety extend in any given situation? When, if ever, should the engineer be expected to blow whistle or dangerous practices of their employer, whose values are to be primary in making judgment about acceptable risk in design for the public transport system or nuclear plant? Is it of management, senior engineer, government, voters, or all of them? When and why is the government justified in interest interfering with the organizations. What are all the reasons on which the engineer show their obligations in their employees or clients or the public? Next one is conceptual inquiry. It is directed to the clarify the meaning of concepts or ideas or principles that are expressed by words, by questions and statements. For example, what is meant by safety? What is meant by related to risk? Or what is the pride? What is the profession? When moral concepts are discussed, normative and conceptual issues are closely intertwined. And third one is factual or descriptive entity. It is aimed to obtain facts needed for understanding and resolving value issues. Researchers conduct factual inquiries using mathematical or statistical techniques. The inquiry provided important information on business realities, engineering practice, and the effectiveness of the professional society in fostering moral contact. The procedures used in risk assessment and psychological profiles of engineers. The facts provide not only the reasons for moral problems, but also enable us to develop alternative ways of solving problems. For example, how were the benefits assessed? What are the procedures followed in risk assessment? What are the short-term and long-term effects of drinking water being polluted? And who conducted the test on materials? So these are all the topics today we are discussed. Later on, we will discuss what is moral dilemmas.